Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I have to share what happened last night after the live on YouTube and Facebook and X and all those other ones. I shared with everyone that I bought these healthy home lights because it's getting darker earlier. And pretty soon it's going to be dark for like 3 hours or something like that when we will be awake. And I had normal LED lights. So the normal LED lights that you have probably in your house are not allowing your body to make melatonin. So if you're watching TV late at night, if you're on your phone, all of this blue light is messing with your body. So the powers that be, the evil powers that be, I might add, who took away the incandescent lighting, took away the red light that was in those bulbs. So now we're not making melatonin before we go to bed if we have normal lights in our house. So again, I got mine from Healthy Home. And when I was done with the podcast, I turned off that big blue light that shines in my face for the video, shut down my phone, turned on my 2 lamps, and I am on the lowest setting, the nighttime setting. No joke. It was like an instant oozy-goozy kind of feel. My whole body went into this state of relaxation. My mind was starting to wind down. Usually when I'm done with a live, I'm hyped up. I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to lay down at 8 o'clock and pray because I've got, just this mojo energy going through me. And it was nuts. I felt so relaxed. And get this, Sierra went and laid on her bed. She laid on her bed. If you were watching, she was all hyped up and ready to go. She laid down on her bed while I was, putting the lights away and getting the house back to normal. And then we went outside and we went potty. And then I felt normal. I came back in immediately and I felt this, I don't want to say Zen-like state because I hate all that new age stuff, but it was there was no words to describe the relaxing feeling that I had. And then I turned one on in my bedroom and it was time to go to bed. And so I brought a couple of treats in there. That's our normal pattern. And we were like so relaxed. She laid down on the bed. She didn't even go straight for her treats. I was in and out, trying to bring in, cords to plug in my phone. And I bring in water and I had to do my castor oil pack and all that kind of stuff. And she is just curled up, laying in a ball. I don't know. I'm going to try it again tonight. I will let you know how I feel because it was bizarre. I don't want to say creepy. It was just amazingly bizarre. Like, could these lights really have that much of an impact on us? Both of us. I'm not kidding. Okay, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about humility. It is such a challenge for us to be humble. And I get this email every morning. It's called The Morning Offering. That's actually from the email that it comes from. And it gives you a whole bunch of stuff. And today there were a couple of beautiful quotes that I thought we should all listen to because they rang true in my heart. So the first one, Saint Gianna Molla, is the quote of the day. The stillness of prayer is the most essential condition for fruitful action. Before all else, the disciple kneels down. All right, I'm not kneeling when I'm praying. I don't do that. I just sit down. Maybe I should kneel and get in the proper position, the proper humble position. I honestly cannot wait until that chapel is done where I can kneel down, and properly pray. It's an environment for prayer. It's, just totally different than my living room. You know what I mean? So how many of you kneel down and pray? Kneel down and pray. Because if that is not the most humble position, I don't know what is. Okay, then we're going to go into today's meditation. Here we go. The true reason for which God bestows so many graces upon the humble is this: that the humble are faithful to these graces and make good use of them. They receive them from God and use them in a manner pleasing to God, giving all the glory to Him without reserving any for themselves. It is certainly true that he who is humble is also faithful to God, because the humble man is also just in giving to all their due, and above all, in rendering to God the things that are God's. That is, in giving Him the glory for all the good that He is, all the good that He has, and all the good that He does. As the Venerable Bede says, whatever good we see in ourselves, let us ascribe it to God and not to ourselves. To give thanks to God for all the blessings we have received and are continually receiving is an excellent means of exercising humility, because by thanksgiving, we learn to acknowledge the supreme giver of every good. And for this reason, it is necessary for us always to be humble before God. St. Paul exhorts us to render thanks for all things and at all times. In all things give thanks, 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Giving thanks always for all things, Ephesians 5:20. But that our thanksgiving may be an act of humility, it must not only come from our lips, but from our heart, with a firm conviction that all good comes to us through the infinite mercy of God. That is from Reverend Cajetan da Bergamo from Humility of the Heart. That's his book. So I think it's time for all of us to just take a moment and check our humility. How much are we asking God into our heart, into our life? How much are we humbly praying? How much are we thanking Him always and everywhere? We say that at Mass, remember? Always and everywhere to give you thanks. It is truly right and just. It's our duty and it's our salvation to give Him thanks, always. The other day, maybe 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I was driving and I was just thanking God for this beautiful state that He has chosen for me to live in. Remember, I didn't know anyone down here. I wasn't sure I was going to move here. It was His choice to not only move here, but also to build the retreat homes. By the way, registration is open. soulmindandbodyretreat.com. People are signing up. Super exciting. I'm so jazzed. Go check it out. See if you want a weekend. There's 15 different retreats throughout the year of 2026. There are payment plans. If you need something else, send me an email. It's at info@soulmindandbodyretreat.com. Happy to talk to you. Happy to work something out with you. Okay, but back to my drive. I was just so in awe of Tennessee. You have to understand that there are so many trees, so many hills, and then there's also big open spaces. Where I am, there are no subdivisions. There is no house after house after house. I have to drive about 25 minutes to have that type of a situation or experience, to go into the Dixon area, to go to the grocery store and all that kind of stuff. But as I'm driving around where I live, there's just acreage. And it's so beautiful. And when the fall comes, it's even more amazing because the trees change colors. And it's so peaceful. You're not like car after car, strip mall after strip mall, stoplight after stoplight. I mean, it's kind of funny. There's like barely any street signs. I was taking Sierra for a little drive the other day, and I just go on roads, and then I turn and I'm like, oh, let's go on this road. Then we'll go on that road, and then I'll turn on another road. But when you come up to the road, like you have a choice, you're going to go left or right, it doesn't tell you what that street is. There are no street signs. It's actually quite bizarre. But always I somehow weasel my way out, and then I'm like, oh, I know where we are, and then we head home. So I was in the car again, thanking God. And then for the first time ever, I thanked him for taking Jeff. I've never been able to do that with any full commitment or sense to it. You know, it was, I mean, I do thank him because I know that all of the prayers, that relevant radio, all of the masses, all of that stuff were so critical to his salvation that if he lasted until, we were older and we were going to retire, I don't think it would have been the same situation. So I do look at that as a blessing, but I've never said the words, thank you for taking Jeff, until a couple of days ago. Because I wouldn't be doing this retreat home. I wouldn't have a mission that I'm trying to walk humbly in. Too often, I try to muscle my way through it. I put the deadlines on myself. Like no one else knows unless they go to the website and they see the timer and the countdown and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I just have to humble myself and just be like, I got plenty of time. It's okay if we don't hit it on the moment. Lord, you're going to bring the people here. I'm not going to try and worry about it and be anxious about it. I'm not going to try and kind of in my mind force it to happen on my timing. You're going to do it. And I thank you for doing that. And this gratitude of him taking Jeff and this new mission that he has me on is one that I'm really grateful for. And all to his glory. Again, y'all know, there's no way I would be doing this myself. I mean, I would never, ever decide to do this. As a matter of fact, I would have retired down here and probably kicked up my ministry, started speaking more and all that kind of stuff, but I would have never done this. No way would I have wanted to spend the money. No way would I have wanted to go through all of this unknown, the uncertainty. But it's not my plan, it's his. And so, for the first time, I thanked him for taking Jeff, and I meant it. Because I know for his soul it's good, and I know for my soul in this new mission, it's not for me, You need to know I am not doing this for me. This is a lot of work to get everything going every weekend. It's not just the other person that's taking over the weekend. I will say Sonia Corbett will be doing a lot more of that. I think she speaks 6 different times because she's doing her Love Heals masterclass kind of thing here. But the other people are speaking twice. The rest of it is led by me, the food, the cleaning, all that stuff. It's a lot. It's one thing to go to an event, speak for an hour or run a retreat for a day. Everyone else is dealing with the registration and the travel and the food, and all of that stuff, getting the priests, all that stuff. And that's on my shoulders. And I'm gladly carrying it. I really am. Sorry, I just took a sip of coffee. I mean, it's funny, my hospitality on my charisms list is probably like an 8. It has to be close to a 12 now. Because when I have people over down here, like when the kids came, there was not one stressful thing about it. Making the food, shopping, getting the rooms ready, nothing was stressful at all. And I was joyful to do it. You know what I mean? I had total love in my heart. Now, if I was up in Chicago and I was having family and friends over and my husband and I were, whipping up the food and doing all the stuff, it had a different feel to it. It was like, not a chore, but it was an effort, And there would be a lot of time where we would look at each other, we're like, why are we doing this again? Just two total homebody people. And we would, host Thanksgiving and we would host Easter. And I look at this and my attitude and my desire to do this is so different. I want to serve. I want to serve 12 women plus a speaker, maybe a priest, in my home. So the first night is going to be in my home. We're going to have an opening reception here. And then they go over to the retreat homes. And then on the following Sunday, we'll wrap it up, hopefully in my home. If not, we'll wrap it up in the retreat house. I haven't quite figured out exactly how Sunday is going to go. But I'm all about it. And this is, I think, a little bit of my humble walk. I'm not whining about it. I'm not complaining about it. Yes, there have been moments where the technical side has challenged my patience, challenged my humility, challenged me, period. And if anyone out there knows about technical issues, which is always the bane of my existence, and eventually I'm just going to be never worrying about the technical side again. Because it will happen when God wants it to happen. And I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. So, humility. I'm just checking myself. I'm giving you all the things that, I am noticing about my journey. Thanking God for Jeff. Thanking God for this home, retreat home. I remember I wanted to, are you okay, honey? She's doing that thing that before she gets sick. Yuck. She's been doing that like for 3 mornings, but then she just burps. Very strange. She doesn't puke, which is good. Honey, hold on. I'm almost done. Oh, hon. You okay? You okay? All right. So anyway, back to the humility. I just feel like God's working in me. And I think I got to kneel to pray. Nothing gets you in the prayer mode than, the posture of being humble, which is kneeling. So I got to throw this out to you. We talked about prayer last night. I'm curious, how did you all do this morning in prayer? I did not pray my 4 rosaries. I still have to do that today. My prayer was distracted, I'll be honest, but it happened. I hate the distraction, but again, that's life. Prayer is a battle. But I didn't give up. And I'm praying about the St. Michael Lent and what I am going to do for that. I am going to do it. Hold on, honey. Hey. I think my contractor's here. Okay, shh. It's okay. Stay here. Yeah, he's here. Sierra, come here. Okay, I'm going to have to go because I think he's going to come in here. I'm not going to pray, but you pray on your own. Look at your life, see how humble you are. Where can you be more grateful? Where can you turn to the Lord and thank Him, even for the things that you didn't want in your life? I feel that there was a huge step in me thanking Him for taking Jeff. I just feel that. And I have to continue to walk in that humble way, walking in that humility, so that I can let Him lead instead of me. Most importantly, when it comes to technology with this retreat home, for sure. All right, everyone, she sees the dog outside. That's my other contractor over by the retreat home, so she's going a little crazy. She's going to start barking soon. I love you all so much. Please pray for all those folks that we pray for every day. Find something more with God, soul, mind, and body, and that humility that we need in order for those graces to flow and that faithfulness to show in our lives. Have a blessed and inspired day.